I have the honor of speaking with you today. So tell me a little bit about matchmaking and how did you get into matchmaking, specifically Asian women?
Well, first, I'm an Asian woman. And of course, so I feel the Asian women are more resonate with me in terms of a background, cultural diversity, the values. For me, before I become a matchmaker, I actually was a dating relationship coach for 5 years. And then naturally, all my clients ask me, can you just match me with someone? Because I'm coaching them how to do online dating, how to, present themselves, how to navigate the dating process. So the client said, hey, can you match me with someone? Do you have any other clients you can match me? I mainly coach women, but sometimes I do get men as well as a coaching client. This is how I started my coaching. I remember first time actually I was reaching out to you to say, hey, I have a coaching client. Do you have any, clients want to be matched? Yeah. And I feel myself enjoy more matchmaking more than coaching.
Matchmaking goes hand in hand with coaching because sometimes when we work with clients, we actually have to date coach them before they meet somebody and after they meet somebody. So we're kind of a sounding board for them. So it kind of goes hand in hand. I feel like we can't have successful matchmaking clients without date coaching them along the way, right? Like we probably don't call it date coaching because sometimes I feel like clients don't want to be coached, but of course they want to chat with you and talk with you. And I think that's where you're so good at it. And I know you talk about that previous client you had, a date coaching client, and we set them up and they got in a relationship. So I think, when was that? When did I first start working with you? Was it back in like 2016?
Before pandemic. I think it's 16, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like we've been working together for so long and have such success matching clients. It's only natural that we kind of put together both of our superpowers to help other clients right now. So why, in your opinion, why should someone hire an Asian matchmaker if they want to date Asian women and if they are Asian men?
Well, basically, I got a lot that question a lot. As an Asian man, if they want to date Asian women, it is really they give us their specific criteria. We understand Asian women better in that sense, so we can very, very accurately provide the type, the personality, and they're looking for. Asian women, has a different type as well, right? From the different country, certain share similar cultures, but also slightly different in each country. So some other matchmakers, I would say they probably will see Asian or look like the same. And only you and me, we can tell the difference. And we can also, really articulate why this woman will be better for you from what perspective, the value perspective, cultural perspective. Yeah. Little things in a way in the dating process will make the big impact in terms of a compatibility. I don't know if you notice that, like if you talk to people on paper, they are looking for someone similar, right? But the nuances is really in the little details. This is why I think we can make a big difference.
Yeah. I do remember when I first started getting into matchmaking and another matchmaker would ask me for an Asian woman for her client. And I said, oh, does it matter what kind of Asian? And she would say, just Asian. And I'm like, but there's like Korean, Japanese, Filipina, Thai, and Taiwanese, Chinese. I mean, even though you and I are both Chinese, I speak Cantonese, you speak Mandarin. So it's very different just even within a same country, right? So there's a lot of nuances, like you said. So yeah.
definitely. I remember once I talked to a matchmaker who is Caucasian matchmaker. We're talking about the Asian dynamics. She has a client want to match with one of the Asian ladies, but she just cannot tell. She said, "What's the difference? Why, like my client is so particular?" Because her client been to Asia before, and even the client is Caucasian male client. But because he's been Asian before, he's very particular on which country, type of Asian woman he's more interested in. And because the matchmaker couldn't tell difference, so we end up have a cultural education. I tell her exactly why, every country Asian woman is slightly different. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
So do you show photos when you do matchmaking? What is your process?
I think we have a very similar process. I do show photos, and all the photos has to be recent, at least 6 months. And of course, if it's our clients, we would ask them to take a professional photo before we give matches. So yes, we show photo, we show the basic background of the person and what they're looking for, and their own, characters, personality, their background. I would say 90% we usually will match what the clients are looking for on paper. That I always say. However, chemistry is very tricky, part of the dating. And then this is why we always encourage the clients really, if the profile, 90% is what you're looking for, you always go on the date to see if there's a chemistry in person. Yeah. And sometimes they will surprise you. I have last year I have two weddings, and both of them actually was in the beginning when they saw the picture. They were like, okay, it's not exactly my type, but the background looks good. I said, well, there's no harm, right? What are you going to lose to go on a date? And this is how I ended up one date. The first date was went 3 hours. They talking so good. Another one, actually, the lady came back say, well, he's nice. I'm not sure the chemistry. We heard that a lot, right? So she said, I'm not sure about the chemistry, but I'm open to go on, a second date and a third date to see just how it goes. And I think on the fifth date, she said, yeah, I think I like to continue to exclusively dating with him. And he's on the same page. I think he's like on first date, he's already feel like she might be the one. But because the lady is a little hesitant and he's more patient. So now they're already married.
I love that. What a
Yeah.
beautiful love story. And I feel like that's how relationships happen, right? It's not like two people go on one date, the first date, and they fall in love and they decide this is the person I'm going to marry. Like it's a process. It's getting to know them. And I know the first date, people are nervous, right? People don't really know what to expect. They're not sure if their date is really going to look like the photos. And then they relax on the second date, and the third date, they could be more themselves. And the third date is when I usually say, well, if you like him or her enough to want to kiss him or her, then that's a good sign. So you should give people a chance. And usually with matchmaking, if someone goes out on 5 or 6 dates, it's pretty exclusive and it leads to exclusivity. And that's when magic happens. I just feel like people write off people too quickly. What
Yeah.
do you think that?
Yeah.
Do you think people
It
just
is.
don't give people a chance nowadays because they think, oh, Xiaoli's just going to get me another cute girl, so I don't have to take this one too seriously.
That's one reason. I think another reason they just feel like I'm so busy, I don't have a time. And just recent one client just told me he's looking for butterfly on the first day, and because didn't get butterfly, he decided to move on. This is actually a big red flag for me in terms of you're going on date on the first date, you're looking for butterfly. And both for men, for women, it's actually not very good practice. You're not gonna finding a person will be the one on the first day. It's
Right.
not like when you're in your high school, you were like, oh, so infatuated with a girl, like, oh my God, she's gonna be the one. Yeah, we're much more mature than that. So 3 dates, usually we call it magic 3. And by date 3, you pretty much know if you want to, continue being exclusive with this person, or you may just say, well, it just, the chemistry didn't develop after 3 dates. I can still not see myself romantically connect to this person. Then I always say, yeah, you can safely move on.
Yeah, usually a lot of people meet at their workplace and they meet a coworker that they normally wouldn't be dating them. It's not their type, but because they are forced to spend time together at work, they get to know them day after day, month after month, and then they end up liking them because their personality shines through. It's the same thing with dating. It just, you have to really get to know somebody and give it a chance. And people just need to put away their checklists when they go on dates and just enjoy the moment and have fun and ask questions and really get under there and talk about things that are more important on the second and third date and not be so superficial. So yeah, I agree 100%. And to have butterflies on the first date, I mean, that's great if you're watching a sitcom or a rom-com or a movie, but does that really happen in real life? I don't think so. Like when I first went out with my husband, I didn't think, oh gosh, they're butterflies. I'm attracted to him. Like it developed over time based on me getting to know him, find out what he's about, how he treats others, how he treats me. And my communication with him was I never had to check my phone to see if he texted me or called me because I felt like we were both on the same page. So,
So true. I mean, very similar to the story. Me and my husband, even we met online. Back then, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, online dating was still relatively better than now. But still, I didn't have that butterfly and, so nervous. Is he going to text me? It's just our first date was at the coffee place, we just like feel good. Yeah, yeah, he's a nice guy. I'm definitely want to meet him again. This is how step by step. That's why when people tell me they're looking for butterfly, one or members or clients after the first date feedback and they say, oh no, I'm not gonna want to, see her again because I didn't get butterfly. And right there, it tells me he didn't have a much dating experience. Yeah. Usually that's the case. Yeah.
so I know, Xiaoli, you've been matchmaking for a while and you normally deal with elite, high-end, high net worth clients. How do their matchmaking experience differ from a non-high net worth client?
I think a high net worth clients, they usually very time sensitive because they feel the time is valuable for them. And also the quality of the matches. And, oftentimes they told me even they're successful, they're busy, but in their social circle, it's not many opportunity to meet singles. And especially if they're CEO, they don't want to, get involved with their employees. And then people always think, oh, CEO, oh, he is a billionaire. He might meet a lot of people. Not necessary because all his day job, he's doing, business meetings, right? It's harder to gauge people's romantic intention. And especially if it's your employee. So that's one thing. The second is, they feel like spending time online is wasting their time. And first, they don't want to really disclose their real identity. They want to be, keep the privacy. The second is just, they say, if I have a time, I still don't want to spend that online. So this is why our service really kick in to really help them to find on the same level, the quality they're looking for. So we do all the upfront work. I mean, you are being on this journey as well. We're vetting people. We're acting like a love headhunter and really going different ways to finding the matches fit for the high-end client looking for. Yeah.
And also, if it's a affluent client or someone who does really well for themselves, who's accomplished, they have a clear vision of who they're looking for. So sometimes I feel like that helps me out a lot more because they're like, May, I need these three things, but the other stuff doesn't matter. Like they don't give me a huge list. They just say, I want her to be kind. I want her to be X amount of miles from me, or I'm okay if she doesn't want kids or want kids. But the rest, I'll just meet her and see what happens. And usually the accomplished men that I work with, they know what they want and they can very well vet the profiles that I give them by saying, yeah, I'll meet her. Yeah. They're more forgiving, I feel like, if they have the three criterias and then they just meet them and see what happens because they trust us or trust me with my clients. They know kind of what my expectations are from the women. So they say, okay, May, I trust you. Yeah, set me up with her. I'll go. I'll meet her for dinner or I'll meet her for drinks and things like that. So yeah, I feel like online dating is really tough for them because you're right. They don't have the time. They're just so busy. So subcontract out this part of their lives to someone. No different than a lawyer. You need to hire a lawyer if you have some law questions about your business. No different than you going to a dentist because you have teeth problems, right? Like you just go to a love headhunter or a matchmaker if you want a shortcut in finding love. So it's great for people who value time more than money.
Exactly.
And matchmaking is not cheap, but when you find the love of your life, just hiring a matchmaker to do that work for you, man, that's great. Good feeling for us too, right? When we
Yeah, I had a lawyer client. He came to me. He signed up very quickly. So his reason is that he said, Xiaoli, I have a personal trainer to help me on my health, really toning my body. I even have an assistant that just like book all the restaurants for me because I'm so busy. I have clients to meet. I have friends to meet for fun. And he has a specific assistant that just help him to book all the good restaurants. He said, I just don't see why not. I hire a matchmaker, help me find a date. So I can just pop up, show up on the dates to see if there's anything, romantically we can develop into.
Yeah.
So with him, because he has that attitude, he signed up for 6 months. I think just between 3 to 4 months. And we found him a very cute, a girl is exactly his type. Because he's very specific, just like you said. He's very specific and he know what he wants. So then, it's just like right away. He's very happy. Yeah.
Now, Xiaoli, what's the best part about being a matchmaker? In your opinion, what is the best, most rewarding experience about being an Asian elite matchmaker?
The fundamental best part is when you really see people being exclusive, get engaged, and get married and happy. But another benefits, I think the best part for me, fulfilling is we are doing some work is really, on the, what do you call the level is helping people finding their happiness. So the transformation part for people to realize, in order to find happiness, they have to be happy, themselves first. So how to love themselves. That's the part to me, it's very rewarding. It's by the end, when they find happiness, they realize what's the secret to be happy. It's not you just rely on some person to make you happy. It's like you have to be happy first. and then you will attract another happy person. So in a way, it's when I'm working with clients, we do a lot type of inner work together. It's not like you got homework to do. It's really through the feedback from each match, each match they get on, and especially when they start dating with a person and find out what's the obstacle. We will dive into each individual perspective about why this is not working with this, with this girl, what self-reflection you needed to change to be a better person to attract the next one. Yeah. So the feedback is really good in the matchmaking process. This is the part a lot of clients say they feel like they have a, sounding board, right? They're not in the dark. Like if you met someone online, you never know why the person ghosted you and not replying, your message anymore. Even you met maybe 3 times. But for us, we can really give 2 people perspective. Some feedback, maybe it's harder to take at the first place. But after a while, they will realize, oh, you know what? She was right. Yeah.
Yeah. And to piggyback on what you said, also with change, I feel like the clients who come to us and are ready for a change of doing something different, those are the ones that have the mindset that, you know what, I do want to try something different instead of me dating for 20, 30 years already, or me getting out of a 10 or 15, 20-year relationship. I need to do something different. And what better way than to hire a matchmaker to really help you with that and for you to see your blind spots and for you to get some guidance from like a neutral party that can really help you shed some light on some of your behaviors on dating or your mentality on dating, and just to be more positive maybe. Or maybe your matchmaker would just tell you, you know what, maybe you need to update your look. Like none of your friends are going to tell you, you know what, Xiaoli, you should really do your hair differently or dress differently. It's like maybe your matchmaker will tell you, you know what, you could go buy some clothes. You deserve it. Go get a new look, or let me help you on how to pose for your new photos for your dating profile. So all those things matter. I think sometimes people just do the same thing over and over and expect a different result, but they truly can really benefit from a matchmaker to help them with some of those blind spots. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, it's just a story I had before. This one guy came to me. He didn't have any success online. And when we started working for him, of course, first is taking photo. And then naturally, he's like, oh, I don't know what to wear for the photo shoot. And then I hired a wardrobe stylist to help him. And then the stylist came back and said, oh my God, this guy's closet was a mess, and his home was a mess too, because they did a Zoom, right? The home, everything you can see just on the floor. And this is how, we helped him not only pick the best wardrobe, but also clean his house. Because if you want to, have a partnership, you gotta also have an inviting environment, the energy. In Chinese, we call feng shui, right? And so we help them all this, and it's all related. Then easily he just attracted to the girls. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
So
for
many stories.
certain male clients, especially if you're not Asian, you want to attract the Asian women, and we can really tell you like what really make the Asian women feel, they will love you, because it's a slightly different culture. For example, who to pay first dates, right? And of course, as an Asian culture, they like, to be a lady, especially on the first date, they like to be courted. So it's like a Go Dutch is definitely not going to work for Asian women if you go on first date. Something like similar along the way, how you date Asian women, how do you accept her family? Because Asian always come with a big family. How to handle the Asian food. Yeah, we can definitely give you those insights. Mm-hmm.
That's funny that you said that about how to handle like the Asian family. And my parents do not speak hardly any English, and I married a Caucasian man. And the fact that my husband makes an effort on saying some sentences in Chinese, it just makes a huge difference. Like he just learned like the basic sentences like, oh, what time is dinner? Or I'm gonna go jogging, or just little key words that, Happy New Year. If you say that in Chinese or in the language that, she's from, I think the parents appreciate that. Like at least you're trying, right? Like at least you're not closed off by eating the chicken feet or the fish with the eyeballs or the chicken head or whatever that may be. Like if you're going to date an Asian woman, you need to be adventurous in eating. Otherwise, you're just going to be like the white devil is what they'll call you. And they're not going to appreciate you as much if you don't get into the culture.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. It is true though. Same thing because I married a Caucasian, husband as well. He actually really dive into a culture. Like he knows, Chinese like play mahjong. So before I took him back to China to see my mom, he kind of learned a little bit how to play mahjong. So he's sitting on the mahjong table with my mom. Really made my mom happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those little things, right? But that's the beauty of working with an Asian matchmaker is we can share stories about our lives, and it could be like an aha moment for some of our clients. Like, oh yeah, just talking conversation like this. Now I know that, you know what, that is a great tip, to really appreciate an Asian family. And, my husband, when we were dating, the whole time I made him take his shoes off coming into my house. I mean, we do it now. We live together and we have all of our friends take their shoes off. But even when he goes to an Asian friend's house, he automatically does it without me asking him to, right? So all those little things really matter.
Yeah. So we will tell, any clients if you go to their matches family house and make sure you wear good socks, right? Because you're gonna take your shoes off.
Make sure your feet aren't smelly,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so back to matchmaking. Now, if a guy lives in Chicago or New York or LA or San Francisco, do you help the clients if they're outside of San Francisco?
Yes. We actually really serve, the major cities as long as there's a big Asian population. And so I would say San Francisco, LA, even Seattle, it's all along the West Coast line. And New York, DC, Boston, Chicago, it's any major cities. Now more and more Asian population in Texas as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So I find that the clients that I can really help are men who are open in dating, not just in their city, but outside of their state and across the US. And we've helped many guys who want to meet women in Asia. So we've had connections and working with matchmakers in Thailand, in Taiwan, Singapore, Hong Kong, where else? Korea, Japan. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
different
Hmm.
countries to explore. And I love when men say that they have the resources and the money to travel. And if somebody wanted to go on vacation to China and they're there for 2 weeks, we can help them find some nice Chinese women there and they can meet them while they're there. So there's a lot of different ways to meet Asian women, and especially like I deal a lot with men in Los Angeles, and I say, okay, are you open to meeting women outside of LA or Orange County? And sometimes they're like, no, I just want to meet them within 100 miles or 50 miles of me. And I said, really? Like you say you love to travel. But wouldn't you like to like have a Zoom video call with somebody in San Francisco and you guys hit it off and then you just go to San Francisco for the weekend and then you get to know her better, or you get to know her and then you also are not exclusive yet. So then maybe you meet two other women while you're in San
Yeah. Yeah.
Francisco.
Hmm.
So there's a lot of different ways that Xiaoli and I, can help the clients. And I just wish that people would be more open-minded with that, because you're right. There's a lot of Asian women all across the US and even in some small cities, right? Like we have such a huge network of over 1,000 matchmakers worldwide that we can connect with to help recruit Asian women for our male clients, which makes it really exciting, I think, especially now with how acceptable Zoom is and how easy it is to hop on a video call on WhatsApp or just hop on FaceTime and things like that.
Yeah, it's much easier, especially, a lot of people also work remotely. They don't have to go to office every day. Um, Many people just tell me they're open for relocation, because they can work remotely. So
Yeah.
love is not really limited just by the area, but the location. Hmm.
Now, what do you think about men who are maybe on the shorter side, 5'6", 5'5", or 5'7"? Do you have a lot of success working with men who's maybe a little bit shorter than the typical 5'9" guy?
So for Asian male clients, and not a lot tall guys, honestly. And then interestingly, because those shorter guys have a challenge on their own, they coming to me or coming to us.
Mhm.
I think this is the matchmaking can really help you. The service is we really help you to create a really profile, the matchmaking profile. So we are your spokesman, right? Spokesperson to present to you. So when we present the clients to potential women, we really focus on this client character, personality, his professional background, what he can offer as a partner, what he can offer on the table. So it will be, misunderstanding. See, women is all go for high, tall guys because they do value the person's character or personality. So when we do that introduction, they usually pretty open to meet. Say, yeah, I would love to meet him. But of course, after the first date, we will educate our clients how to be confident. Even she's really pretty, maybe she's even a little bit taller, but she doesn't care as long as you are confident about yourself.
Yeah, I know
So height,
you've had a lot of success matching men with who might be a little bit shorter, 5'6", 5'7", and that
my shortest actually is 5'4".
yeah,
The
yeah.
shortest, but I had no problem to give him matches.
Right.
Because I always say, you look at Tom Cruise, he's not tall, but he's so charming, handsome, right? He can get girls, at any speed, no problem. It's the confidence.
Yeah.
I also have, had another billionaire. Remember, we actually worked together on this line. He's 5'5",
Right.
but
Right.
we quickly, like less than 3 months, we found him someone
Yeah.
because his
Yeah.
confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
also a lot of Asian women, they really look beyond the height, I feel like, because their brothers or cousins probably aren't super tall either. So Asian women who date Asian guys, they look at all the other stuff, like where'd he go to school? Does he have potential to make good money? Is he ambitious? Is he funny? Does he seem like he would have those traits of being a good father and good
exactly.
communication, and
Yes.
all those things are so important. Yeah.
Yeah. Majority Asian women, I think they are looking for a partner is more for the safety and for the security,
Yeah.
feel protected, feel a good, feel good for the kids can, bring the kids in a good environment. I think that those things they are looking for. Mm-hmm.
Do you encounter a lot of men who maybe have gotten married coming out of a 10, 20, 30, 40-year marriage or relationship, and then they want to find someone again? Do they necessarily want to get married again, or they're just happy being in a long-term relationship so they could leave all of their wealth to their kids?
I think it really depends on individual, but being happy, loving someone, being loved by someone is a human nature. So majority of the clients, even after long divorce, came out of a long marriage, they're still open to marriage, but they just don't want to rush into marriage. So they would say, I'm open to the idea, and then dependent on the partner, dependent on, how the things go. There's a certain clients very specific say, I don't want to get married, and make sure finding someone who's not like looking for marriage, long-term relationship. But both men and women, they're looking for the same thing. So this is the matchmaking part. We make sure you guys are on the same page. We call the same life goals, right? So if you're looking for long-term relationship, we're not going to give you a lady who's so rushed want to be married in next 2 years, because it's not match. That's not called match. We will give you someone also kind of on the same page, looking for long-term. And I had a clients after 5 years, they've been in long-term relationship. They just decided to get married.
Yeah.
But that's already all the way 5 years. They both feel like the timing is right. They love each other. Why not? So that's great, right?
What about the men who come to you and they are separated? They have not filed for divorce yet. How do you handle clients like that?
So for this one, it's a little bit tricky. We first really want to see if they're still living in the same house. Because if a husband and wife still live in the same house, even you said that you're separated, usually we will not take this type of clients. And ideally is if you are not legally divorced, but you file the paper, which is, reasonable, because everybody understands that divorce is a long time, legal process. And we will, consider the situation, we'll take them as clients. But if you're still living in the same roof, probably it's not a good idea, because you cannot really date. How are you going to tell your date? Okay, I'm still going to go back to the house. My, wife, you call ex-wife, but legally you are still married. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's definitely a red flag for me. I do not take on clients that they say that they're separated, but they're not legally filed yet, and they're living under the same roof. But it's different if they filed for divorce, one person moved out, they don't live with each other anymore, or maybe they say, yeah, we've been separated for 3 years and we just filed for divorce last month. Well, that's different. Like you've been separated physically for, 3 years and odd months. So that's different. So everything is case by case, but I always go back to my own experience with dating. For example, would I want to date this guy who's still living with his soon to be ex-wife, but they haven't filed yet? Like something fishy. Like I don't even want to get into that mess, right?
It's not fair to the matches too.
Right.
The other members we introduced to. Yeah, especially if they, falling in love, it gets really messy. So this year I had a client wedding, remember, in Napa Valley I went to. So this guy, exactly the same situation. He came to me, he filed a divorce, legally filed, but they are not finalized yet. But the ex-wife moved out of the state, moved to another state. So he's by himself. He said, I want to get on the, get on the market. That's how I matched him with one of our members. And the girl also knows he's legally filed, but not legally divorced.
Right. Yeah.
And so, yeah. So everybody know, transparent what you get into, and she's fine with that.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think it's so valuable that when you can work with a matchmaker and you could ask those questions. I have clients ask me all the time because they want me to elaborate a little bit more about this situation, or they don't want to go on the first date and start quizzing their date about the kids, like what's the relationship with the dad, or what's the relationship they
exactly.
have
Yeah,
with each other, or how old are the kids, and are they gonna be open to relocation? Like all those questions you can ask your matchmaker, right? Like that's what we're here for, is to be the middleman, to ask those tough questions before you meet or after you meet, and really just help you navigate through some of that tricky stuff. So
yeah, yes.
what else? What else about the advantages of hiring an Asian matchmaker?
I think that the big advantage is if you want to meet Asian women and want to understanding how to, maintain an Asian relationship with an Asian girlfriend, and we are your best sounding board,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And not to mention our databases or our Rolodex of
That's
Asian
true. Yep.
women. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we don't make money off of unsuccessful business and matches, right? Like we've been in business long enough to know what makes a good match, what makes the clients tick, what's important to them. And I feel like sometimes they come to us with a list, and then I look at their list and I'm like, wait, that's not really that important, is it? That's not really that important. And they're like, you're right. It's really not that important. So yeah, so it's fun. I mean, I love doing this. I've been doing it since 2009, and just partnering up with Xiaoli with some of our clients has been a lot of fun. I think it also, because we're both solopreneurs, it actually really helps us to bounce ideas off each other and to talk about the clients like they're our friends. And, you really end up liking them, and you really end up wanting them what's best for them. So it's like hiring like a friend to really keep an eye out for you, or hiring an aunt that can really like help you with your love life. I mean,
But one of my clients just said, "Oh, I feel like you're my old aunt." I'm like,
yeah,
"Yeah," because he's very young. I was like, "Okay, I can do that." But I think on top of that, by working with us, you have the one of the largest Asian network in LA, in Colorado area. I have also another big network in Bay Area, New York, even including recently more and more in Seattle. So I feel any client, if we hire two of us together, it will be the best Asian network in the country. And of course, there are some Asian members, in other matchmakers database. But just trust me, if you talk to non-Asian matchmaker, they have a certain number, but they're not going to have a lot. So if you're specifically looking for Asian, you will get very limited matches from the non-Asian matchmaker. Another matchmaker just referred a lady. She just want to meet Asian. So it's like she talked to so many other matchmakers, they cannot promise her all the Asians, the matches they will give her. They will say, you have to be open-minded, and then you have to both open to Asian and non-Asian. Then I can take you as client. But when she comes to me, I'm like, there's no problem.
yeah,
If you want all Asians, we'll give you all the Asians.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the difference. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So, well, Shali, thank you so much for sitting down and chatting with me today. I feel like we make a really good team with our clients, just working with them and just appreciating them and learning from them. And yeah, every year goes by and we just build our database, and we just have a lot of referrals. I get a lot of women referring their female friends to me. And that's great because they want to be matched up because they had such a great experience with me that they just want to share that with other friends. So all good.
Yeah, same here. I think I would say 60-70% of my clients, business from a referral. Yeah. I'm not, if you check on me online, I'm not actually super active on social media every day, do a live talk. But it's just because, I'm doing good. I'm passionate about what I'm doing. People can feel my passion to help them. That's why they refer their friends, their family members. So yeah, it's doing very well.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Xiaoli, thank you very much and good speaking with you. And for you guys want to get in touch with us, please check out the comments below and I will put the links on here.